Hey guys, Dantix here, back with another Starfield Breakdown video. Starfield is Bethesda's next open world RPG and I'm pumped to get my hands on it. It truly looks like the space RPG that I've always wanted. We have exploration, shipbuilding, customization, and more that I covered in my last two videos, but in this video, I'll be covering specifically what we know about your weapons and crafting. So if you like this kind of content, you know what to do. You want to be keeping your eye on this channel because I'll be bringing you content you won't find anywhere else. So let's get right into it. The first weapon we get teased is the semi-auto Eon. This is a pistol with 12 rounds in the magazine to start with. However, research and crafting is available. By crafting an additional capacity mag, you can bump those rounds up to 30. In this combat footage, it seems like the player is surrounded by diseased sirens. The Eon doesn't seem to be even tickling these level 12 enemies. Considering that just before this footage, it showed the player fighting level 2 pirates, you have to expect this is later on in the game. When you pull up the scanning menu, your weapon switches to the cutter. We can see here the player is cutting and harvesting some iron. Interestingly enough, the ammo for the cutter doesn't seem to go down when it's used. Maybe the player is in developer mode, or maybe it only drains when you fire it on enemies. Then we see the weapon wheel and the player switching to the semi-automatic rifle, the Grendel, which seems to be the same gun that was on the workbench in the first cinematic trailer. I'm unsure what the number next to the triangle symbol is. I've scrubbed the footage to no avail, so any ideas? Let me know below. It seems that ammo may be shared across same weapon types. In this case, the Grendel uses 7.77mm rounds. Ammo is loaded and we can see that it has 50 rounds in the magazine. It fires fairly fast and we do notice that aiming down sights is more accurate. Though this might only be without skill investment, as you can invest in the skill called targeting that makes firing from the hip have more range and accuracy. A little bit of an interesting tidbit, pickpocketing is confirmed. As the pirate gets close, you'll have that option. This also confirms stealth and most likely the ability to place grenades in your enemy's pockets like you could do in other Bethesda titles. You get 5 experience for each kill, so I wonder how they'll compensate players who prefer a sneaky or non-combat approach. Probably through lockpicking and hacking computers. We see here that the player throws a frag grenade. It takes a while to set off and only explodes after the pirate is killed by the Grendel, so we can't be sure of just how deadly this particular one is. I do appreciate that the explosion isn't just a fireball, instead doing what a frag grenade does, launch deadly shrapnel around the room. We see our first case of Bethesda physics due to the explosion though. After expending the mag, the player switches to the Coachman shotgun, which unsurprisingly uses shotgun shells. The 90 next to the triangle is bugging me though. The shotgun functions like a double barrel in many first-person shooters. It has 2 shots before needing to reload and seems to do a lot of damage up close. Then the player finds a locked case. After using digipicks to unlock it, you can get access to the Equinox rifle, which is, as you guessed it, a laser-based weapon. It has 12 rounds and seems to do quite high damage, about the same as the shotgun was doing up close, but at range. The ammo is a battery pack which looks similar to another laser weapon shown later in the gameplay. You can also aim down sights, which once again seems to make you more accurate, which might come in handy as firing on this pirate's jump/life support pack makes him fly into the air and explode. Cut to a bit later and you're firing on a level 15 Metropus floater with the Equinox. However, it's now equipped with a better sight and it's firing at a much faster rate, suggesting it's been heavily modded. No doubt you can boost up weapons to your current level of effectiveness with mods. It then cuts to a third person and the player whips out a Maelstrom, which I assume is an SMG. It has 40 rounds and seems to have the typical fast fire rate but low accuracy. Then we cut back to first person and we see that the gun may be modified, with pipes running through it connected to a display showing the ammo count. We also see he misses all his shots while aiming down the sights. Luckily, throwing that grenade off screen explodes, taking the pirate out in one hit, suggesting that they are quite powerful. Here we have some footage of another gun, the AR-99. We don't have much detail on this weapon, except you can also modify its sight and barrel, as the footage where the player is fighting an angler hexapod shows a more modified version. We also see footage of a companion fighting alongside you using a cutter, the tool we used before to harvest iron. Begs the question, is this companion more focused on helping you mine resources than actual combat? He does though have a cooler outfit on than the player does. Next we have some random weapons we can't be sure of. This is another ballistic weapon firing in low gravity. Then we have the laser gun we showed before. The creature looks fierce, so I hope it packs a punch. Then we have this futuristic looking pistol facing off against aliens in a narrow space, which reminds me of the movie Alien. So we took a look at guns, let's now take a look at research. By stepping up to your research laboratory, which could be in your ship, or in towns, or in your settlement, you have an option to take on board projects. The categories are pharmacology, food and drink, outpost development, equipment, and weaponry. It's unclear how projects will become available to you just now, but we can assume finding them in the world, researching other tasks, or completing missions. Right now the player has 4 projects in progress. 2 pharmacology projects called Medical Treatment 1 and Performance Enhancement 2. Also has an outpost development project called Resource Extraction 1 and an equipment project called Helmet Mod 1. So from this we can assume the first category will house medicine and drug related research, food and drink is an obvious one, outpost development is about building your base and gathering resources to do so, equipment is about your gear and mods, and weaponry is about weapons and mods. Let's jump into the weaponry research projects. We see barrel, grip, optic, sight, and muzzle mods available for research, with some being blocked until requirements are met. The barrel mod 1 requires 20 iron and nickel and 10 sealant to research and no specific skills, though you can be sure that higher level mods will require specific skills. Also, when you research barrel mod 1, you'll unlock barrel mods 2. Here we see a modified Eon. It's clear that it has an extra capacity magazine as well as an extra barrel of some kind below the bottom of the primary. It isn't clear what that does right now. In the footage though, we see the gun is now called Max Capacity Semi-Auto Eon. Also, the ammo count goes from 20 up to 28 at the back of the gun, but the ammo count at the bottom right goes down normally, suggesting a bug or some kind of effect we don't know about. Once again, the gun seems to be not effective against these creatures in its current state. So that's all I have for you today. What do you think? Does this RPG's weapon and modding tease make you excited or cautious? Let me know below. For everything RPG and Starfield, you're in the right place. Ciao friends.